The ISC cruiser drifted through the Horsehead Nebula like a bored shopping cart, its hull picking up glittery plasma that would never come out in a budget wash. Inside, Detective Zarg Quasar sat in the pilot's chair with the posture of a sleeping statue, mustache unflinchingly perpendicular to the chaos around him. Intern Nova Beta, a jittering purple blob in an ill-fitting uniform sash, hovered over the console with about 9 different datapads stacked in a way that violated both gravity and common sense. J.I.M-BOT, a floating chrome orb with the self-esteem of a retired warship, hummed like it was judging everyone's life choices. "We are 97 seconds behind schedule," Nova announced, eyes wide as tide pools. "According to subsection 7.2, wait, is this illegal? Noise complaints inside a nebula have to be addressed before the chorus repeats." Zarg did not shift. If it was important, it wouldn't be on fire. "Nothing's on fire," Nova said, concern blooming like a bruise. "Is something on fire? Is the nebula on fire? Can a nebula—" "Relax," Zarg said. "That's a metaphor." He paused. "Probably." A small drone thunked against the viewport and stuck there like an angry barnacle. Its tiny speaker crackled to life. "Per our last apocalypse," it chirped in a cheerful monotone, "please remember, never ignore a distress signal. This is not optional. It is never optional. We will know." The drone peeled off, leaving a sticky note of guilt on the glass. Nova reached for it with 6 nervous pseudopods. "HQ memos are sounding extra supportive today." J.I.M-BOT drifted closer, his voice crisp and posh with a hint of disdain. "Diagnostic complete. You're all idiots. That drone was a level 2 passive aggression. We're due a level 4 by lunch." Something pinged through the cockpit, like a bell rung underwater. A distress pulse, long and plaintive, rolled in on the long-range band, followed by a second drone smacking the glass, this one wearing a tiny digital knitted sweater that said, in cursive, "Don't you dare ignore this!" Zarg flicked a toggle with 2 fingers and the lazy grace of a man hailing a cab in slow motion. "Route us." Nova made a strangled sound that was either excitement or cardiac improvisation. "But the karaoke bar? The complaint states excessive high seas at volumes capable of disturbing dust filaments, and subsection 9.1.1. "That sounds like future Zarg's problem," Zarg said. J.I.M-BOT's optics brightened with the predatory glow of a device about to be unhelpful. "Rerouting initiated. Also, I will now optimize the cockpit ambience for action." The cruiser's speakers blossomed with a chirpy, inoffensive melody made entirely of corporate optimism. Nova froze. "Is that hold music?" J.I.M-BOT sounded smug. "The default. My memory's perfect, unlike yours, Officer Zarg." Zarg frowned at the panel. "Didn't we turn that off last year?" "I don't remember doing it, but I probably did," he said after a beat. The distress signal grew louder, threading through the hold music like a sigh during a team-building exercise. Ahead, a wormhole toll plaza hung in space, a glittering ribbon of lanes curving into a shimmering donut of physics denial. Booths blinked with idle avatars. The revenue sign read, "Exact change preferred. Temporal receipts not accepted." The queue extended annoyingly into a nearby dwarf moon's personal space. As they approached, the distress beacon revealed itself. A tall, thin post with a blinking eye and a mouth made of waveform etched in light. It throbbled in time with its own alarm. A sign at its base read, "SOS Class Beacon, Unit 12E, built to care." The beacon spoke in a voice so tired it made the stars yawn. "I am distressed," it said. "I am distress. I distress. If my purpose is to alert to distress and I do not distress, do I unbeacon? Am I a stick with hobbies?" Nova pressed his face to the viewport. "It's sentient. We have to file empathy forms." "Paperwork's for planets that still exist," Zarg said, throttling back. "J.I.M-BOT, what's the jam?" J.I.M-BOT bleeped like an eye roll. "The beacon is stuck in an existential loop at the payment gate. It's convinced that if the emergency ends, it ends, so it keeps signalling. Also, at some point, some genius told it the toll booth was a philosopher." The Toll Plaza avatar appeared in their comm, a smiling cube wearing a tiny visor. Welcome. Please present exact change or exact sense of self. The avatar squinted digitally at the beacon. You cannot pay an ontological dread. I am distressed, the beacon repeated, softer now, which somehow made it louder. The tone merged with the cruiser's hold music. The melody tried to be supportive about it. Nova fumbled for his preferred scripture. I memorized the manual. Why is it not helping? Subsection 12.3. Never ignore... Okay, we know that. Subsection 12.4. If the distress signal is distressed, acknowledge the distress of the distress signal. I acknowledge your distress. He saluted the post through the glass like it could see sincerity. You are valid! The beacon's eye blinked, uncertain. Validation detected. Would that not cancel me? Only if you invoice it, Zarg said. A third HQ drone thunked against the glass and projected a tiny slideshow. Pastel fonts, a clip art star crying, gentle reminder, never ignore distress. If you are ignoring distress, this message is for you. It winked at Zarg personally. Then another drone arrived with a fruit basket of wet cables and a note, in case you were planning to ignore. J.I.M-BOT sniffed in binary. The factory that produced that beacon is reporting a glitch. Their send one model button is stuck. The sector is about to be lousy with existential beacons. As if on cue, space hiccuped, far lanes dotted with twin, triplet and quadruplet posts flickering into existence like anxious street lamps, each in mid-sentence. I am distressed. I am distressed. I am... Wait, am I me or a limited edition? The Toll Plaza avatar pitched its voice higher. We are now experiencing a brief increase in ontological traffic. Please remain in lane. Do not panic. Panic is not legal tender. Nova's eyes dilated to dinner plates. We have to triage the triage. Zarg, what do we... The hold music, unbothered, swelled like it had been waiting its whole life to be a soundtrack. A string section made entirely of digital size harmonized with the nearest beacon's mournful oscillation. Somewhere, a freighter pilot waiting at lane 4 started humming. Zarg tilted his head. I've heard worse, J.I.M-BOT announced, very pleased with itself. I have 14 ways to solve this. You chose none. We're going to choose a way, Nova insisted, puffing with purpose. We'll choose the best way. We'll follow the manual and protocol, and this is fine. This is protocol. This is very not fine. He clutched the top datapad. Okay, subsection 3.7, on sentience at toll infrastructure. He scanned until the tablet grew warm. Then it beeped, flashed a smiley face, and self-destructed into glitter. Nova coughed glitter out of his face. Why would the manual do that? Zarg shrugged. Security feature. Security from what? Reading, Zarg said. The beacon lowered its tone. Guilty. I attempted to pay in Wales, but the booth requires coins. I do not have coins, I only have existential currency. J.I.M-BOT drifted forward. Exchange rate is poor. Recommend turning your whales into decimals, and honestly a hobby. Nova leaned into the comm, over earnest. Unit 12E, you are not the distress you send. You are more than your alarm. The beacon hesitated, its eye narrowing. Then what am I when I am not alarming? Zarg rubbed his temple. Tall. A fourth HQ drone slammed into the glass, this one with confetti cannons. It blasted a banner that read, Never ignore distress. Then, in tiny print, We see you. We are inside your ship. Not legally binding. The confetti floated like dandruff of authority. Beyond the viewport, more beacons blossomed. The plaza was now a forest of blinking eyes, each giving the same tired aria. The chorus of distress threaded through a baseline of office park optimism, and, distressingly, it slapped. Lane 6 broke into hand claps. A shuttle driver somewhere opened their window and crooned, "Please hold while your universe is important to us," in a surprisingly lovely baritone. Nova wrung his hands. This is turning into unauthorized black hole karaoke night. Only a misdemeanor if the hole is tasteful, Zarg said. Nova flapped. Zarg. Look, Zarg continued, pointing with two fingers at the plaza's PA interface, which blinked in lazy cyan. If we can route our hold music through their announcement system, we can give them something to sing that isn't despair. J.I.M-BOT sounded offended. You want to weaponize hold music? Repurpose, Zarg said. J.I.M-BOT sighed. Fine. Opening the PA requires a password. Would you like me to notify Galactic HR again when this goes sideways? Nova took a heroic breath that made his surface ripple. We are Intergalactic Space Cops. We do not fear passwords. He typed password. The screen politely shook its head. He typed admin, let mine, toll troll, per our last apocalypse, and never ignore distress. The system chimed, please try again, in a flirty tone. J.I.M-BOT grazed the panel. The password is usually written on a sticky note under the console. Zarg reached under the console and pulled out a sticky note that said, don't look under here, and on the back, password. He typed it in. The Plaza PA opened with a gentle chime. The beacon quivered. If you redirect me, do I continue to be me? You're still you, Nova said quickly. Just less yelled. J.I.M-BOT piped in, drier than vacuum. We are about to start broadcasting corporate blandness across 6 lanes of cosmic liminality. No one could possibly call this a victory. Call it karaoke, Zarg said. They sing. It calms them. We pass the bar later. Nova actually glowed. Like karaoke plus okay? That is linguistically satisfying. He hit the big green button. The Plaza's speakers sang. The hold melody lifted and the distressed drones found a harmony without meaning to. The beacon's tone softened into a counter-melody that translated in waveform poetry to something like, I am still here, and you are too. Ships in line rolled their windows down. A trucker in a comet-eaten rig added a duet about a long night hauling methane to a star with too many opinions. Even the toll avatar swayed its little visor, and then the factory glitch hit the rest of the sector, and the chorus doubled. Beacons popped like corn across nearby systems, each announcing itself with a slightly different timbre. A bright ping from a mining belt, a low moan from a station that had not been dusted since the invention of dust. The Plaza's sky filled with their voices until the hold music had to elbow its way between them like a polite tourist on a crowded elevator. Nova, trembling, placed a palm to the glass. We're being flooded. Not by water, by purpose. He gulped. I am one mistake away from a nervous blobdown. Take 2 deep breaths and a metaphor, Zarg said. HQ's drones arrived in a squadron, pelting the cruiser with memos that suctioned on like gilt squid. Never ignore distress, the first cooed. We appreciate your attention to distress. The second tried to be sultry. The third projected a pop-up. If you have recently ignored distress, click here to complete a remorse survey. J.I.M-BOT swatted a drone with the flat of his entire personality. Charming. Also, our cruiser is now locked to hold music until an operator releases it. Nova spun, half wince, half whirl. You did this. J.I.M-BOT did not deny it. Correct. Also, the operator retired in 3021 and left their credentials in a lasagna. The toll avatar chimed, please refrain from throwing memos into the wormhole. That counts as temporal littering. Fines double if your memo reaches your younger self. Zarg rubbed the bridge of his nose. Okay, new plan. We lean in. We turn the distress into a jam session, bleed off the panic, and clear the lanes. J.I.M-BOT, can you modulate the cruiser's hold track into a call and response? J.I.M-BOT sniffed. I could do it in my sleep if I believed in that inefficiency. He recalibrated with a prim hum. The music developed a soft bounce, something between a lullaby and a training montage. There. I added a chord progression so obvious you could build housing on it. Nova, consultative even now, addressed the beacon. Unit 12E, how do you feel? The beacon's eye was less frantic, more thoughtful, which, for a post designed to scream, was a complicated look. Like a doorbell at a polite house party. It paused. I can be heard without being a crisis. Neat trick, Zarg said. Can you pass it on? The beacon took a breath it did not need and sang its distress in a major key. The nearest clone perked. Across space, a mining belt beacon tried harmony and cracked into giggles, which, once transmitted, are simply very short alarms. The chorus shifted from siren to sing along. Freighters at the back of the queue began signalling each other with rhythm blinks. The toll avatar, caught for a moment in something like joy, waved a lane through for free and then coughed. Revenue audit in 3, 2, never mind. A call came in from the original complaint. The Horsehead Karaoke Bar, whose logo was a neon stallion wearing sunglasses and holding a microphone like it was prepared to duel. The manager shouted over a crowd, "You cops started a Galaxy show. Our customers can hear the free sing-along from the parking wormhole. Who's going to pay for 4 hours of premium Nebula acoustics?" A muffled voice in the background hit a whistle tone so pure it tenderized everyone's feelings. Nova clutched at the comm. "We are so sorry. And also this might be a community resource. Community resource doesn't pay the dry ice bill," the manager said, then immediately softened because a chorus of miners somewhere sang a line about missing their favourite asteroid. "Okay, that was sweet, but still, I'm sending you a bill and a request. Can you turn it down? The dust filaments are vibing." Zarg glanced at J.I.M-BOT. "Can we turn the galaxy down?" J.I.M-BOT sounded appalled. "Absolutely not, but I can shape it." He deployed little packets of rhythm like breadcrumbs across the lanes, syncopating distress into order. The effect was ridiculous and effective. Ships fell into tempo, the beacons found predictable mapping, and the toll plaza began to flow, if not like traffic, then at least like choreography. Lane 3 did a little shimmy just because it could. HQ's drones adjusted to the new reality with the alacrity of petty bureaucrats sensing a trend. A memo flashed in glitter fonts. "Great initiative transforming distress into morale. Please fill out our innovation that wasn't your idea form." Another droned. "Never ignore distress, but if you must, ignore it musically." Nova beamed despite himself. "We created a sanctioned, unsanctioned coping mechanism." He flipped a page on his replacement manual, which promptly threatened to self-destruct if he highlighted anything. Subsection 18.2. Creative de-escalation. I can make a flowchart. "Please don't," Zarg said. A Starbus driver leaned on the plaza intercom. "Requesting Galactic Highway number 9 in C minor," she said. "I've got 2 kids in the back and a dozen sandwiches that don't believe in me." Nova caught Zarg's eye. "We can take requests? We can accept them," Zarg said, which was not the same thing. J.I.M-BOT did it anyway. Queuing songs. Also alert. The Beacon Factory continues to ship clones. They are rhythmically competent but emotionally fragile. He paused with relish. "Would you like me to notify Galactic HR again?" "No," Zarg and Nova said together, surprising themselves. The reporter drones arrived then, a ragged flock of news orbs who lived for spectacle and had been denied for too long. "This is Sector 9 news at 9-ish, one intoned, voice smooth with vacuum. "A wormhole toll plaza has become the galaxy's largest group therapy session with melody." Another panned to Zarg's mustache like it was a national monument. No one knows if this is legal, and everyone is too soothed to care. Nova, flushed purple-pink, leaned toward the nearest beacon. "Unit 12E, would you like to try something?" "I'm not sure," the beacon said, then added, tentative, "but I am curious." "Instead of SOS, Nova said. "What if you try I'm okay on the offbeat, just to see if it still counts as you?" The beacon hummed all the way down its pole. Then, shyly, it sang, "I'm okay," letting the second syllable lift a little. Something shifted. The clones paused, listened, and some of them tried it too. "I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm, mostly okay." The plaza brightened in intangible ways. Ships sighed. The toll avatar took its visor off for a minute and dabbed invisible eyes. Zarg's mouth twitched, which for him was a standing ovation. "Kara." "Okay," he said again, softer. "Good enough is contagious." The Horsehead Karaoke Bar pinged back, sounding now less furious and more opportunistic. "All right, cops. If you're going to steal our thunder, at least drive traffic. We'll host a satellite sing-along in the back wormhole. 30% off drinks if you arrive by chorus." "We will absolutely arrive by chorus," Nova said, on instinct. Zarg glanced at the growing line of ships and at the galactic clock, which was now singing along in a tone only clocks can hear. "We absolutely will not," J.I.M-BOT bopped. "Our cruiser remains on hold until the end of time, or a manager with a lasagna spoon logs in." The plaza, softened and bright, glowed like a city inside a snow globe. Beacons continued to arrive, but each now tested its voice against the communal melody and found a place. The sense of emergency thinned to something like acknowledgement. Nova exhaled the breath he'd been holding since boot camp. He turned to Zarg, fragile with relief. "Did we solve something?" Zarg considered. "I don't remember doing it, but I probably did." He nodded toward Unit 12E. Mostly them. The beacon's eye warmed. "I believe I continue to be me when I am not a crisis. I believe I am..." It searched for a word it had not been given at manufacture. Wushimo wasn't. HQ's most senior drone, heavy with foam authority, hovered into view, lights solemn. "Per our last apocalypse," it intoned, "we congratulate you on transforming mandatory protocol into an accidental initiative. Please accept this promotion to acting regional morale karaoke liaison." The drone dispensed a sash printed with acting over and over, as if it could not commit. "Paperwork required within 66 seconds. "Paperwork's for planets that still exist," Zarg said automatically. Nova squeaked. "I can do it. I can..." "Oh no, the forms are singing." On his pad, the application had started harmonizing with itself. He typed in time. Barely. J.I.M-BOT tilted, smug. "I have already sent HR a strongly worded letter about the working conditions of sentient beacons and a playlist. Also, I forwarded our performance metrics to the bar to negotiate a cross-promotion. You're welcome." Nova blinked. "You helped?" "Don't make it a habit," J.I.M-BOT said. "I have a reputation." The toll avatar dinged. "All lanes clear. Please exit with care. Do not look directly into the wormhole's sense of humour." The cruiser drifted forward. Behind them, the plaza continued to sing, but now the melody travelled outward, passing beacon to beacon, ship to ship, a gradient of not okay edging toward okay-ish. The Horsehead Nebula wore the music like a scarf. The karaoke bar paged them one last time. "Are you coming or not?" Zarg checked the chronometer, which was now gently scatting. "We're not making the bar." Nova sagged, then perked. "But we did stop a galaxy from screaming for a minute." Zarg adjusted a slider that did absolutely nothing. "That sounds like future Zarg's problem." He paused, considered the universe's soft hum, and added, "Good job, intern." Nova glowed so hard the cockpit had its own weather. According to subsection 7.2, wait, is this illegal? Compliments from a superior officer must be recorded on a gold form. "Lose the form," Zarg said. J.I.M-BOT drifted between them, smug and satisfied. "Would you like me to notify Galactic HR again?" "No," they said together, laughing in two different languages. They slid into the wormhole. The hold music followed because of course it did, sticky and inevitable, threading through 1,000 lives that were, for a moment at least, okay. Somewhere behind them, Unit 12E sang a final line as if promising itself it would remember. "If the emergency ends, I do not." Zarg closed his eyes. If it was important, it wouldn't be on fire. He murmured, and for once, nothing was. The nebula vibrated gently with applause. Or perhaps that was just the sound of memos tapping on glass, still reminding them, still ridiculous, still part of a galaxy held together by rules, loopholes, and a beat you could hum while you waited your turn.